Now, the 5 dancing Israelis. These are also a very interesting thing. On 9/11, I was driving through Pennsylvania. We had been in New York City that morning, and we were coming back to Chicago. We couldn't go to Washington. And Ted Koppel came on the news about noon and said that the FBI was looking for 5 Middle Eastern men who were seen videotaping and celebrating the attack on the World Trade Center. I thought, that's interesting. That was the first time Middle Eastern had been mentioned. I told my wife, they could be Israelis. The Israelis are Middle Eastern. And lo and behold, that's what happened. The next day, it turned out these men were arrested in New Jersey. They were arrested on 9/11. And 2 of them, the 2 on the far right, are actually Mossad agents. And they're known to U.S. law enforcement as being agents of Mossad. The other 3, these 3 here, are basically sub-agents, operatives, working with. And they were arrested in New Jersey, and they pulled over, and they were pulled over. They had been videotaping and filming the World Trade Center burning, and as they did so, they were clicking their lighters and giving high fives and things like that. And they were observed by a lady in New Jersey who called the FBI, called the police, and then the New Jersey police caught them. And they had like multiple passports stuck in their socks, and they had thousands of dollars stuck in their socks, and their van tested positive for explosives, and they had box cutters. They told the police that, yeah, we were by the World Trade Center this morning. We were there. And what happened is then they went back to Israel, and after being held for about 2 months in Brooklyn in the lockup, and they went on TV. And the 3 who were not Mossad agents, the 3 younger guys, admitted. They said in Hebrew, our purpose was to document the event. Now, the interviewer might have asked, well, who sent you there to do that? But he didn't ask the question. The man that ran the show is Yair Lapid. He became the finance minister shortly after that. But this is the Israeli audience watched this whole show. Israelis all across the country heard this in pure Hebrew and understood. Well, these guys were there. They knew, they were doing their job. Now, another point is that thousands of Israelis were reported to have been at the World Trade Center that day. This is a Jerusalem Post article, and it says that the Foreign Ministry in Jerusalem has so far received the names of 4,000 Israelis believed to have been in the area of the World Trade Center and the Pentagon at the time of the attack. Now, that's how many people called in, how many families called in and said, I'm worried about Shlomo, I'm worried about this guy, I'm worried about that guy, my son is there, my husband is there. Well, what happened, of those 4,000 people who were supposedly there, only 3 or 4 died. 3 or 4 Israelis died in the whole operation. Well, how did they avoid harm? Well, what clearly happened also is that there was an instant messaging service called Odigo, an Israeli instant messaging service, that sent out a warning 2 hours before 9/11 happened, warning people not to go to the World Trade Center that day because there would be a catastrophe there. And the vice president of the company said that the prediction, the time, was exact to the minute, so 8:45. And the message was sent out on a platform that you could receive through your BlackBerry or your Blueberry or your cell phone or your internet, whatever. And so all platforms. But it was sent out in Hebrew, and it was sent out using a buddy system where you could say, I want to send this message to all Israelis on the system who obviously speak Hebrew, boom, boom, boom. And by choosing those parameters, everybody on that whole network who shared Odigo got the message. And they didn't go to work. They didn't go to the World Trade Center that day. They did something else. Like Larry Silverstein, they went to the doctor. Like Al Franken, they stayed and visited their mom. Some other guy, they went water skiing. Did anything else, but didn't go to work that day.